Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Are you ready for this? I don't know if I am, but we're gonna do it anyway. How are folks doing? Hey, Polar Ted. Hey, John. Hey, RC Eagle and Neil. What else do we have here? Hey, Questionable Choices. Hey, Garrett. Hey, KS Bow Hunter. Girdman, Brad, Raj. Oh, there we go. How are folks doing? I start talking, Oscar thinks it's time to play. Thunderkeys, thanks for being a member. Hey, Bob. Hey, Holtz. I wanted to say thank you to, they're still here, Cepheus Labs for becoming a member while the stream was waiting to go live. The Shrimp Father, thanks for becoming a member. Andrew Rogers, thank you for the super chat. Okay, so this stream is intended to be a chat about Formnext and Index, but we all know this is going to be the 99% of the conversation. So let's get to it. Hey, Rod. Hey, Sean. Hey, Tuxedo. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Damien. Hey, Breckle. So I have been given special permission from Bontech to talk about my Index beta build. So this is a beta version. Things have changed since the parts that I have here. So my experience is very much focused on the beta and putting this together and the very limited printing that I've done on it. So we're gonna just go through and just kind of talk about it and talk about other little things of Formnext as they come up. It might be a little bit of a squirrel brain stream, but I'm just getting back from Germany 2 days ago, so I can't guarantee that my sleep patterns have leveled out. So who else do we have here? I think I saw a Liz here. I see a Telxoid. I see a Plague and Martin, Tulsa and Kent. How are folks? Red Fox Squirrel. Those Bontech guys seem to be constantly working on stuff. Yeah, and this is pretty cool. This really is pretty cool. Let's go here. So this is my build. MacBoy Pro. Wow. Thank you for the 50 gifted memberships. John, thank you for the beard compliment. Hey, Nova. Welcome all the new members. I guess my first question would be, how hard is it going to be to add Index to the Core 1? I think Index on the Core 1 is going to be pretty easy, especially with Prusa working with them on the integration. The integration looks really good. I did get in a pre-order for the Core 1 Index kit. I will be doing an 8 tool and adding that to one of my Core 1s. So, Tuxedo, welcome. Hey, Justin, welcome. Toolchanger. So this is a 250 Trident you have not seen me build. This was built incognito for the express purposes of this build. Hey, Shadell, could you go through the installation in Clipper? We'll go through a little bit of it, yeah. We have about, so just a heads up, we have about 2.5 hours. We're gonna do the filament giveaway at the 2-hour mark to give us plenty of time to not cut into Down Under Maker Phil's stream. We will be raiding into his stream after this. So I got a pre-order in for a while as well. Awesome, Bob. Hey, Keith. Had one to a 510 millimeter printer. Nice. We tried multi-material prints. I have only done a few prints on this. So my goal going to Formnext was to be able to print some of my maker chips so I could hand them to the Bontech folks. And I made that goal, barely. So, hey, Dominic. Hey, Moons. Hey, Inguiset. Hey, Danny Medina, there we go. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? My Core 1 is getting Index, can't wait. Hey, Zombie. Maybe have this for my big rat rig. Awesome. Hey, TT. Come out right after I bought a new PC. I'll have to wait, yeah. Hey, John. Okay, so this is a 250 Trident that I built with the exact purposes of beta testing Index And the things that I have done to enable the build is basically model up some brackets to put a crossbar here, and then a few other things. The filament inlet, we'll look at those in detail. Plague Rain, thanks for becoming a member. Hey Bill, I don't think I said hi to you earlier. I saw that you're out and about getting Thanksgiving Day prep going. My Core 1 Plus will probably be getting indexed, nice. I think that's what we're gonna do on Saturday, is member stream. Channel members get one private stream per month. It goes live to the public a month later. I think we're gonna work on my original Core 1 and do some checking on it, update it, and maybe update it to Core 1 Plus. So, hey Akbal. I guess you could also mix nozzle size as well. Yep, you could. I haven't done any of that, but I intend to. Gridgeman, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Okay, where do we want to start? If you want to ask questions, we can kind of go that way. DIY Maker Mindset, hello. Dennis, hello. But, so, index 5 tools. I opted to install them offset so that I could reach through here still. Having this fully covered does make it more difficult to get in and around the printer. So I decided to sacrifice the symmetry for having some access to reach in there. Vitali, thanks for the gifted memberships. Start at the beginning, when you get to the end, stop. There we go. How the tool head mounts on the MGN and what connections it needs. Okay. Yep. So let's go through that. Let's start with, let's go ahead and start with the tool head then. We'll try to get a good, plugged in still, so. There we go. Let's get a little bit of a closer look at that tool head. There we go. So this is the tool head. This around in here to get a little better view. It does have so something about this. Rod, thanks for the gifted memberships. Hey Phil, welcome. I'm looking to do 5 tools on my 250 2.4. Hey Charlie. Hey Tuxedo. Oh, I said that already. Hey Rug. So this is a beta version. The tool head has been revised. Something I did have to model up was a way to raise the bed 10 millimeters in order. Oh. Dryers are finished drying, so they're going off right now. There we go. I don't know if you heard that. Why not symmetry and reach between? Because there's 5 tool heads, so it would be asymmetrical no matter what. Unless I went to 6, which I could. Reverse the gantry so it could pick up off the back. I got thoughts on that, Polar Ted. Hold that thought. Let's finish talking about this tool head. So right now, all the connections come straight off the back. This does raise the tool head to the point where I couldn't reach the bed with the default Trident setup. So I modeled some new bed mounts here that raise everything 10 millimeters. The next version of this lowers the whole tool head, I think like 9 millimeters. So there is a connector here that does have heater, thermistor, and what was the others? Heater, thermistor. Stepper is not running through that connector. Stepper has its own wire going up and through. What else was there? Oh, power and ground. Heater, thermistor, power, and ground was the basic thing. The hot end fan in here is all controlled by the controller that's inside here. So you don't have a hot end fan running back to the main controller. That may change in the production versions, but that's how mine is. So that's gonna be a theme here, is we're dealing with beta stuff and really talking about what it's been leading up to this point of setting this up to get to the point of first prints. So the X carriage is ridiculously small. Let me see if I can get in here and just do a little short. So let's see, do I have anything to point with? My finger. I have my finger to point with. This is the X carriage. It's just that 4 or 5 millimeters thick, just enough to hold the belts, and then the screws come in from the back. Interesting fact, this is my first experience with beacon. This does have a beacon installed. That is what this wire here is. I think the expectation is this will have a load cell when it hits production. It will definitely have a load cell for the Core 1 setup, so I think that's where driving the installation or the setup of the load cell for all. I will say that I have been very pleased with my beacon experience. As an aside, it was very easy to set up. It's working. I haven't really had to mess with it, so kudos to the beacon guys. It seems to be a good product. I have not set it up to use contact yet, but this does, I mean, that is pretty sturdy. There is no significant wobble there. I mean, I'm pulling on this hard enough that any tool head flexes, but it does seem to be pretty solidly on there. The beta versions do use CPAP for cooling, and there's a little 2510 fan in here for hot end cooling. Hey, Neokoi. Well, Fox is working on load cell software at the moment. Yep. Aware. Told me that non-Core 1 will have it as well. Yep. Contact makes it infinitely better. Yeah, I'll play around with that at some point. There are no comms to the toolhead at the moment. You can very easily install a toolhead board back here, so you don't have to run all of this back to all the wires back, but this really isn't much of a bundle for what I have here. So, yeah, I don't have my CPAP install finished. Malagna. Hey, Magdog. My installation is not finished. It is very haywired, but it works. Hey, Jake. Been in beta for a while, or is this new to you? So I don't know what to say as far as how long I've been on the beta team for this, but I've only had this running since right before Formnext. I have been working on the install, various aspects of it, you know, running into things where I noticed that the bed, it doesn't reach the nozzle. So I had to model up and print some mounts for the bed. One of the first things I did was obviously design the mounts for this crossbar, and then I modified their docks here because there is some play. I put a slot in here so I could move them around if I needed to. Hey, Queasy Diver. Surprised hot ends don't have any nozzle blockers. Do they cool down so fast so filament doesn't ooze at all? It oozes a very little bit. It's surprising how little these ooze, but we'll talk about that a little bit more too. Those AB mounts with top layers for effect? Yes. Yes, it's very much for effect. Let's see. Okay, so that is the tool head going back, CPAP line. This is not a finished install. It's just enough to get it printing. Hey, lol. Can the mounts be moved around, or do they have to be in a specific position? These can be moved anywhere along here. The only critical point is that they are positioned vertically at the level where the tool head can pick them up. But otherwise, these you can have 2 over here, 1 in the middle, and 2 over here. You set all the locations of them up in software. It is easy. This is all printed as one piece. It is connected. There's little connections in between them. I printed this all as one piece because then I know exactly these are 35 millimeters on center. So in the config, I get 35 millimeters increments for the dock location. This is going to be sold out for a long time, isn't it? I suspect it might be. Would love an all-wheel drive mod for this, maybe in time. Quad XY is only going to impact your available space for tools. How far apart minimum? I think it's 35 millimeters. I think right here is the minimum. We're going to power it up and do some tool changes and show you how it actually works here in a minute. Other parts of my install is I did do a swing arm, a Core 1, actual, the same exact style Core 1 swing arm. If we can get a view of this from above. Oh, that camera's off. Just a moment. Did you get support on how to get it running? There is, yes, there was some support from Bontech on it. Okay, let's see if I can, here we go. Here's the swing arm. You can see that there. That is what I opted to do for my umbilical. It is working really well. It's not as critical since obviously I need space above for all these tool heads. But one thing that is a challenge with this is umbilical management. If I go across here and then come up through here, you see how this PTFE tube is locked underneath this one? That is not ideal. See that? So Bontech has a pretty good method for controlling that on their setup. I'm trying it with these little spacer guides that I printed. Index reduces the space available print in front. Index reduces the space available for print in the front. Yes, it does. Right now, it's on mine, it's 26 millimeters. Approximately, it's between 26 and 28 millimeters, depending on where your end stops are set up. It's very clean, minimalist design. The top hat to be fully enclosed, will it not? Yes, it will need a top hat. This will too. Anyway, when you come across here, if you come back, you can get that to see that snaps out of the way. So I want to try something. We're going to try some stuff here live. I did print a wider version of this, seeing if widening this out will get rid of that. Maybe the position of this. I've been playing around with the position on along the path. Maybe the lengths of these need to change. We'll play around with some of that. I'll move my bed back with custom milled holes. Need more loop, I think. Be better at this than me, so I may be wrong. I may need more loop. When I was printing with this, it did have more. I'm trying to minimize it and see where I can get away with the minimum amount of PTFE here. So, did you find a filament that matches their red color? This is printed in, it's either, because they're basically the same color, it's either Ambrosia or Polymaker Galaxy Black or Galactic Black, depending on the brand. And then it is Polymaker's Galaxy Red ASA. That's the filaments used for this build. And it really worked out well, being Bontech's colors and Voron colors. And I wanted to do this build in that red and black. Boydie, welcome. Hey, Steve Weatherman. Can you tell how it is integrated with Clipper? Yeah, it's just macros, and I'll show you. Bontech, use, add. Oh, maybe. Scared me for a second, then I realized that the cat cannot be Charlie. No, this is Oscar. If anybody hasn't been around in a while, this is Oscar. In the corner there is Felix. What else are you hiding from us? I think this right now, I think is the only thing. Yeah, Galaxy Red, Polymaker's Galaxy Red filament is absolutely fantastic. I used it on my Phoenix as well. My Phoenix, the accent colors are Galaxy Red from Polymaker. Affiliate link is in the description. I never plugged that, but I should do it more. Hey, Skyrim. Does it retract a bit when changing the colors or none at all? I'll show you the whole process. We will go through the whole process. What option will it be for fans? I heard at the show that they are looking at a modular system on here that will have interchangeable plates to change fan styles, but that's TBD. Might be over. Can the red stripe on the tool head be able to be swapped out? I don't know. I have no idea. What else do we have that's unique to my build? The filament inlet. I'm kind of proud of it. I think I like it. Here, let's do that. There you go. So I took the same 45-degree angled inlet that I made for the other printers and for my Trident. Actually have it right here. So this is the one for the Trident. And I rotated them 90 degrees so it points up. And then I actually changed it to 60-degree angle because it matched up with this little retainer bracket here a little better. CPAP looks a nicer setup. The fans on the side look a bit janky. This makes for such a slim setup here with the CPAP and nothing else really on the tool head. It is kind of nice, I agree. From the corners, does Index remove any overlapping amount, but from the entire front? It does, about 26 to 28 millimeters. So I modeled this from the back. Maybe we'll turn this around, take full advantage of this. I did not bother retaining these back here because I have this bracket on top that retains them. And then this mess of PTFE tubing is very temporary. I do have some of these here that we can shove those in to kind of retain them, but I'm still working out how I want to manage the spools. Core 1 will not be CPAP. Core 1 will use the 50 or the 40-20 fan or whatever that is normally on the printer. Have you thought about putting in, there has been, hey Turtle, welcome. And Richards, welcome. Richard Sharps. There has been talk about Phoenix. I think it's some 22 tool heads or something will fit on there. The Extruder part fan, yeah, it'll use the same one on the Core 1. See ya, Elefox, thanks for being here. Let's do a function test. We will. What else? My CPAP wiring is very, very temporary. It truly temporary. This cannot stay like this. You can see this mess. I won't stand for that. There's a direct drive assembly in each tool head. Why use Bowden? If there was a direct drive assembly in each tool head, why do you, I don't know what you mean there. Tools extrusion is connected and moving with the gantry. Well, this is a Trident, so the gantry doesn't move. Now on a 2.4, there is, you can print a bracket that mounts basically between the idlers so that the bracket moves. This is, what is the print size of that Trident? The print area is 250 by about 224. Hey, Mr. Franco. What's the print? Oh, yeah. Let's see. Folks have talked about, let me get this out of the way. Folks have talked about, why don't we put the tools on the back? And that seems like it would be a good idea, except when you're coming into the printer and now bending your PTFE tubes all the way back to reach that, I think it's going to overpower the magnets on the dock, and people are going to have trouble keeping the tools in their docks. I think really the front here is going to be the way to go. Neil, just PLA so far. I haven't finished working on an enclosure, but that is coming. The PTFE impinges on the workspace too. Looks much better with tool hand in the front. The drawback is this is in the way. You can't see very well. You can't get access to it. This is why I made this area here a spot. I'm right-handed, It does allow me to get in here, pick the boogers off the ooze off the nozzle, that kind of thing. So, hey, Clown Hammer. Just looks. Let's see. As far as that goes, that's pretty much all it took for integration here. Running the wires from the tool head here, which, like I said, are just power, ground, the separate stepper line, heater, and thermistor. So this is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me plug the CPAP back in because I don't want to have to mess around with this anymore. Let's just plug this in. Just set that right there and power this thing on. I did come home from Formnext. This is Olaf's thing, but I did come home with Formnext with an extra index tool changer. I actually brought 2 extra index tool holders or tool changers with me. They're just manual tool changers. See? Index. It's a tool changer. Hey, David. Do you think you could feasibly gain back the Y lost with some simple mods? Let's talk about that in a second. So that is Olaf's joke. I stole that from Olaf. All credit to him. Okay, so on Grant's stream, I don't know if you were watching that, I said that there's probably a way of gaining back most of that lost travel. Not in a stock frame. You can gain back quite a bit though. Here is the limiting factor. If we move the tool head over here into the blank spots here and then move this all the way forward. So now the tool head is touching the extrusion, but we could gain back however much rail we have left here, which is about 3 or 4 millimeters. So based on, so if we go over here and figure out where Y0 is, when it has to grab a dock, we can move this forward. So I feel like we can probably move this forward here. We can push this right there and we can probably move it forward this 8 to 10 millimeters we could get back is in the spec Trident frame without changing a bunch of other stuff. So we could reduce that 26 or so down to 15 maybe. 15 to 16. So the clacky door won't allow you to keep moving forward though, because our limitation is really the stop here. And the end of the rail is right here. So you can't really modify the idler mounts to just keep moving it forward. You would have to, and at the back here, you're at the end of travel in the back. So you can gain back, let's say 10 millimeters. Is what I'd be comfortable suggesting that we could gain back with just some revisions to the mount here. You would have to use some sort of spacer, whether it be a clicky clack style door or something. Would the front idlers need new mounts as well? Well, I didn't touch the idlers here because this bracket comes around it. So at Y max does the nozzle hang off the bed by about 3 or 4 millimeters. So if you want a wiper, that you want to keep that. Hey, buddy. Hey, Chris. Currently has 20 millimeters of over travel. I think they planned ahead. Maybe. If you turn it around, have the tools in the back, would that solve it? No, because you'd have to put this tool head on the back. And I think all the other problems with putting the tools at the back would not make it worth it. I'm not even really going to explore that unless someone else proves that it's a good idea, then I could potentially try it. But my setup does not wipe the nozzle. I use a small purge block. By the way, this is the very first print I did on it in 5 colors. I used a Ember Prototypes camera to set the offsets, but I was off by a bit. You can see 3 is quite a bit off from the others. I did a guess on adjustment and got really close on this. There is a little bit of offset still wrong on the Y, or on the white, what was white. I think it was tool 1. Reversing the whole head, I didn't think it would work well. Yeah. Just buy a cobot robot to swap the tools for you, then you can gain all your white travel back. What I was thinking last night, I was actually chatting with Hart K in DMs last night, and I was thinking, and I went so far as to order parts. I ordered a Trident 300 cube frame, black. I'm going to take the vertical extrusions there, which is going to give me an extra 50 millimeters of height. And then I'm going to take the Y extrusions, the depth extrusions, 300, which is going to increase this by 50 millimeters, which means I'll get all my space back. But I'm going to do all that post beta. I want to do the beta test all within a typical printer that one of their customers would have. Bearded Printer, thanks for the gifted memberships. So if you step down to the Prusa MK beds, then you have full build sheet size available. Maybe, Bob. Can you not also widen the frame so you have 2 tools on either side that are floating over the 2 front bed screws? Then you can use all that space over the bed itself. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff. Hey, Kittrell. Hey, Fabrico Joe. That's smart, keep the control size. Yes, right now it's staying like this. This is powered up, so I can simply, I'm just gonna go to the macros on the clipper screen here, and I'm gonna tell it to grab tool 1. It's gonna automatically home. And watch this. This is pretty darn cool. And that's it. And see what it did there? I have 2. Okay, so I have messed with see how that's hanging there? I've messed with my PTFE tubes since I last had a successful print on this. So this is all part of figuring out what I need to do, because that's pulling too much on that. So I need to either move this thing back or take it off. Let's take this off. Is there a filament sensor in the tool head? Not right now. They were talking about filament sensor solutions, but right now it doesn't. Yeah, so I don't have enough tubing here. It's pulling back on this. So I need to pull some more up through here. So we're just gonna do that. We'll just pull a bit on each one. I haven't tightened these, so just with this in mind. Too much tension, yep. So that's gonna be the balance here of how to get this to work well, is what is it going to take to keep this from pulling the tools off. See, because it doesn't take much. Hey, Nemesis. So I wanted to, because the more PTFE tube I have here, the taller of top hat I'm going to need, and I want to minimize that. So. Hey Daniel, welcome. I think it might be better if the tool's locked on the dock somehow by sliding them left or right a few millimeters. Maybe, but that's kind of not what they're after here. There are magnets in here, and these pins On the front here are magnets. Yep. So let's play around with these dock locations, or the little, I'll move this down, get this down here, and I want to put that tool back. So we can go over, here's their index page on it. This is linked in the description. They're decently strong. It wouldn't be, one of my suggestions might be if they can increase the magnetic strength. Easy to adjust, should not take long to find the happy place. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna play with right now, basically. But what I wanna do, oh, that's the gray Trident. Let's go here to this one. Let's go here. And there is a macro here for park the tool. So we're gonna park that tool and get the, basically, oops. So I can pull these off here now. Move this. Let's just disable the steppers so I can move this out of the way. And I want to pull these out so I can get these about the same length. So. So that one looks good. Put that back there. Let's get this one. So this needs to pull out. Oops, too much. I want to get all these about the same length is what I'm doing right now. Let's pull a little bit of distance back through the. There we go. Okay, and while we're here, let's get a good look at one of these tools. What happens when you start the printer with tool attached? Does it remember? It does remember. It has a variable that it saves. Every time a tool is changed, it saves which tool is active in a variable file. So that is persistent across a reboot. I am running Prusa Slicer right now. How build areas do the tools take up? About 26 to 28 millimeters is how much they take up. There is nothing to them. These are so light. Yeah, there is nothing to this. There are, so on the bottom here, you see these 3 indents, machined in spots. Those match up with ball bearings on the tool head for a Maxwell or kinematic coupling of some sort. I don't remember if that's a Maxwell or if that's another style. Heat break efficient enough to not require hot end fan. There is a hot end fan. It's in the tool, but this cools down and heats up. You'll be amazed. We're gonna look at the heating graphs on here in a minute when we heat this up. It heats up like that and it cools down nearly as quick. This is a 250, yep. So there's a little metal pin in there that's critical to the engaging mechanism. What happens is the little arm comes down and pushes this whole thing down to engage that coupling. So that goes there. Okay, so, and then I kind of want to try this wider. So I just modeled this right before stream. But this wider thing here, just to spread these out a bit, because I think that's was causing a problem before. There we go. Now that's a little more. Is the nozzle removable from the nozzle assembly? Yes, basically. There is a little circlip right there, and then this will come out. This is not rigidly attached. The hot end assembly here is not rigidly attached to the entire assembly. It doesn't need to be, because when this gets pushed down, it engages on the solid spot on the tool head. Do you have to wait for the tool to cool down before dropping it off? No, you just send it over. It cools down so quick. There's no mass to these things. Okay, let's see how that works. And we'll just get an above head view of this grabbing tools. Let's grab tool 0. Oh, it's got a rehome. Be an automatic nozzle alignment calibration procedure. That's all software and macros. They are SLS printed. Yep. Yep, there we go. And we can grab tool 2. Got tool 4. If we look at this right now in the this location, we are at, okay, so we're at Y0. So the way I have this configured is Y0 is my minimum printable area. I have the max travel to Y minus 26. X, Y, N stops. It is sensorless right now. I have this set up to sensorless. How do we deal with nozzle clogs on those? It's heated up, cold pull. I mean, any of those should work. Let's see. Oop, that one. Go here. Go back to T0. Now, so much of what I have set up right now is very manual. I do not have any macros set up for loading filament, for unloading. So once I get this going for printing, I'm gonna heat up each tool head and put the filament in for that tool head, and go from there. So, mass of the tool head. I knew that was gonna be asked. I was not willing to take this off. I do not know what the mass is. Bench. I do not know. I figured that would be asked, and I kind of want to know, but I don't want to take it off right now. Can the tool be removed out of the head without power manually, or does it need the extruder motor to move as part of the unload process? It does. One of the really cool things about this whole setup is all of the dock and undock mechanism is all done with the extruder motor. And, oh, hey, buddy. You're really insistent on the attention. And this little lever here. So this spring pushes on this lever to engage the mechanism in here for releasing the tool. So the process is basically retract about 2 millimeters. It's a little less than 2 millimeters. Push on this lever with this spring in here. Retract an additional, I think it's 10 millimeters. Don't quote me on the numbers. And that releases the tool head. So if we actually, here, I'm not gonna bring up the screen, but if I retract 10 millimeters right now, this comes off. So I just undocked it by holding this button in and retracting 10 millimeters. if I squeeze this in here, because it is kind of close, if I put this back in here and just simply extrude, you'll see that, there it goes. It locks into place. I just extrude 10 millimeters and it locked it into place. And then if I extrude again, you'll see this, you might be able to see this button come out. There we go. It just comes out. Now it's ready for, and this doesn't press, now it's ready to print. And next time you go to change a tool, it'll go in and push against this spring-loaded button here to put it back into the disengage mode. It does not hold the tool by grabbing the filament. There's a little lever inside of here, a little rotating arm that pushes down on this part of the tool head to engage, to push down and engage this Maxwell coupling inside here. Some of these parts for Trident for CNC if Cascade ever releases. Nice. Cascade will release. Cascade will release. How does it know what tool is selected? There's a, right now the implementation is there's a variable file that it writes to. So, okay, let's heat it up. Let's put some filament in here. Let's get it printing something. I'm gonna see if I can maximize my bench space here. And what I think would be best is if we simply go here and let's set this to, let's say 200, and watch that curve. Watch the line. Look at how quick it's going to heat up. It's at 100 already. It's 150, 170, 80, 90, 200. Why aren't you showing up? Why aren't you showing up? There we go. There's the temperature curve. It's at 200 already. I've not seen anything prior to Revo. Revo heats up fast, but not this fast. That is a great question, Neil. I don't know how Calico MPC works with this. How long was that? That was a few seconds. The flow rate, Olaf was quoting 40 cubic millimeters per second with PLA. That's going to depend greatly on your particular filament, temperatures, all that stuff. But they were quoting 40 cubic millimeters per second on these hot ends. Here, let's do a 0C. Now you're going to see when we do tool changes, you'll see this drop off and heat up. But this is a good question. I just hit cooldown. So we went from here's 1647.02 to fully heated up at 1647.14. So 12 seconds, maybe 8 seconds. Now 12. Let's say 12. Say 12 seconds. Hey, out of Adam, thanks for being a member for 25 months. Doesn't require much power to hold that temp. Could do high temps. Maybe this has already been asked. Can you use normal fans or does Index need CPAP? This beta unit does need CPAP. They are planning on a modular fan setup. Hey, Traxman. Falling pretty steady. Wouldn't take that long to get out of the melt temp. It is also sitting. There we go. It is also sitting inside of the tool head still. So I'm curious what it actually cools down, how fast it cools down on the dock. We just can't measure that easily. Do you know what max hot end temp is? I think they're quoting 300, but that's not finalized. And I think there was some mention of 350, but don't quote me on those because I'm not sure. Doesn't need CPAP, so I assume that a similar version will be available. For sure. There is a 2510 fan for the heat break, yep. Is the PID loop very sensitive if it heats up that fast? I don't know if anybody here is familiar with PID values. Here are the PID values for the extruder. I don't know how those compare to others, but that's the PID values that are on there right now. Okay, I've got some of these old Prusa MMU3 filament holders, and I'm just going to scatter these around here. This is how I was doing this before, and then we're going to hook up our CPAP fan. This is a very, very janky setup, but it is what it is until I get it fixed. Here, let's see where that is on the cooldown. Let's close this, go back here. What were we? We started the cooldown at 48.25 and it was down to 50C at 50.29, so 45 seconds. This is the Big Tree Tech CPAP, yep. What? I think he's insisting on treats. Let's do treats real quick. Maybe get a... Felix is fast asleep, so we'll just do these treats. Anybody is new here? This is Oscar. He lives for these treats. I'll get a close-up when we're actually printing of what the ooze that's coming out is. It's running to test, so it's all good. He does like his pets. Did Felix hear treats? You want a treat? He doesn't like these as much. He really doesn't seem to care. Oscar is like nom. Hey. There. Now you can come back here. Yeah, Felix is not interested. Okay, we're gonna basically print more of these maker chips because that's easy. It shows it can be done in a reasonable amount of time. Can this be enclosed? Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna start here to grab this one. Maybe I'll go one right here. I'll put this up here. Felix does like the tubes. Yep. Let's get this heated back up to 200. This is all very manual. I don't have any macros set up to kind of help automate this. I imagine that will come. Hey, Jeff. Really need the 3D printing. My first is a GD+4. Thinking of buying a Sovol SV08 Max for index. Is that viable or should I buy something else? I believe SV08, the Sovol series, are... Bontech has channels, so Bontech has a Discord. I can probably put, if anybody here is not a member of that Discord, let me see if there is a invite. Nope, I don't have permissions to create an invite link. But they do have threads set up for the different integrations. And the SVO, the Sovol printers have a thread. Needs heat to add filament. Yeah, I want to be able to extrude it. So if I go here, oops, and just go in and do a extrude move. 25, 5 millimeters, extrude. There we go. So I mentioned this earlier, a flying gantry is doable, but it doesn't look like it would be ideal. It'll work. And extrude. There we go. Okay, so then I'm gonna cool down and grab some tweezers. And grab tool 1. There we go. Heat it back up to 200. And second color, I think, is white. Print. It's 2 a.m. Yep, working on it. Working on it. So color 2, let's see, that's this guy. Monkey Butler Labs, thanks for being a member. 41 months. Thanks for the previous 6 months to refine it all. Yep. Well, they said quarter 1 or quarter 2. We'll see what that actually means. There we go. And extrude. So that's probably about 40 millimeters from when it stops to actually extruding plastic. So that seems reasonable. Let's grab tool 3 or tool 2. Steve, did I see an interesting PTFE management on the Phoenix? Could that help for an index on V2? Maybe. How will the giveaway work? So just enter, John, just enter in that Google form, and then you must be present to win, but in about an hour, I will close the entry and draw names with wheel of names. Bill, thanks for the gifted memberships. Any fancy RGB? Nope. No lighting on there. The rear panel slot. That could be interesting there, Neil. Could. Okay, heat this back up. Like I said, this can all be automated, but that is not a focus. Silver, I think, is the next color I was using. That'll be the middle one here. I'm going to bed now, it's 2. Yeah, I know this isn't an ideal time for a lot of folks. This is just the only day that I can really do this with the major projects on the Sunday stream. Okay. Extrude. Is that going? There we go. Extrude. There we go. Just enough room to get in there. Cool down. Grab tool 3. Science the index. I completely forgot to put my losing entry. My thing would be to change color accents on the tool head. So instead of Bontech red, it could be whatever your printer's colors are. I don't know. I haven't had it apart that far. It is a printed part. I'm pretty sure it's an FDM printed part currently. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's FDM printed, but I could be wrong. So I think it should be changeable. Hey, Mitch. I have to look over the PTFE tubes to see chat. That's why I'm moving around like that. Okay, next color. Have you found any bugs or issues? Yes, we can talk about that here in a second when I talk about how the current macros work. Beta. Remember, this is not finished. This is just minimum viable setup to get it to print. What is next? Blue. Blue is next. Which one is that? That is that one there. So blue is going to go up there. The way you unbuild, you have not had it apart. Well, I have not, because I didn't want to risk putting it into a state that did not work. Trying out things like that I feel are best after I've done some of the basic some of the basic tests and printing. Is this heated up already? Yep. So extrude. There we go. And extrude one more. There we go. Pull down and tool 4. Getting some 12-inch reptile feeding tweezers to easily reach nozzle boogers from anywhere. Yeah. And then get this heated back up. Here, just as a now the steep drop off there is because it's losing contact with the tool, or with the tool, of course, but the heat up times on each of those is what's impressive there. I've ordered the Prusa version. I ordered the Prusa version. There were like 300 left when I managed to get my pre-order in. What do you think the index will do? Doing engineering filaments, melting materials? It's a good question. I expect it'll be fine. I'm gonna have to be careful about how I move around in here. This stuff. This one can come way out here. I'm not going to be able to twist the printer around because the spools are not sitting on the Lazy Susan. Are you going to try mounting this on? I'm not going to try a 2.4 integration. I'm sure there are other beta testers with 2.4s. This is my index printer. Hey, Hardkey. We are loading up filament to do a test print. I have it a very manual process right now. Plate off with the tools up front, or do you have to lower the bed a bunch? You do. I have in my print end macro to lower the bed when the print's done. I think that's basically what you need to do. It's what the Core 1 does already. How long do you think it will take before we get indexed? The line is Q1 or Q2 of next year. And one more extrude. So like I said, this is taking about 40 millimeters of extrude, somewhere around there, 40, 45, before the filament starts oozing out. Hey, JMP. Good to see you. Very glad to see you for however little time we got. Okay, now we can go back to Tool 0. Okay, let me do a quick clean on the bed. Going to watch the rest tomorrow. See you, Neil. Thanks for stopping by. Go. IPA. Does it require offset calibration? Yep. That's the thing. The pluses or minuses of multiplexers versus tool changers. One of the extra things you have to do with the tool changer is offset calibrations. With the PTFE being finicky, wonder if firm attachment to the center PTFE while allowing other PTFE tubes to float in bracket. Maybe. And welcome, Kevin. Good to see you. Is there a load cell and tool head? Not on this one. Not on this beta unit. I'm using entirely the beacon probe, and I haven't set up contact on it yet. I intend to. Time to chat with you at Formnext was too short, for sure. Sorry to join late. How much Y do you lose? I am losing right at about 26 millimeters. They say 26 to 28 millimeters is the loss. The way where it's triggering for sensorless homing and stuff, it is 26 millimeters that I'm losing. Sorry, can I buy it for Voron or Creality? I don't know anything about any Creality integrations, but you got to realize that Index is an add-on for a printer. The only official integration right now is the Prusa. So any others, there are folks, beta testers like me and others that are working on integrations into different printers. This is the Trident, which is my main task here. Will there be any loss on the Core 1? I'm sure there's going to be some loss. I don't know how much on the Core 1. You mentioned how the mechanism grips the tool with the extruder motor. How does it handle retractions? It only does the dock and undock moves when this little lever isn't engaged or is engaged. So when it's not engaged, it's just regular retractions and extrusions. There's a little lever here that gets pushed by these springs on each dock location that puts it into the load and unload modes. Bontech said 28.5 millimeters on Core 1 subject to change. There's already quite a bit of over travel on the Core 1. So I'd be curious what that actually comes up with. You got to realize when a lot of those questions are happening on Grant Stream at Formnext and all the questions there, it's very easy to confuse which product where the question is being answered for. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to home all again, and here I'll show you. You can get a little bit of a idea maybe of where I am homing. Maybe I can get a camera up in here because I'm cutting it close. Here, I'll home all here. That's where I have it, and clearance is clearance, right? That's Y0 for me. Is that for Core 1 or for Core 1L? Not XL, but L. Don't know. Do you think Bontech has been a little overwhelmed by all the interest Index is getting? I don't think so. I think they're moving along. LDO need to provide much longer vertical corners. All right, let's do a Z tilt. Let's see, we're paying attention to how the filament tubes behave here. How the PTFE tubes. Oh, and it's already level. So we still have 1 or 2 more millimeters. I know. Okay, so I'm just going to tell it to reprint the last thing. How long did that take? This took, let's see, history. The last one was 1 hour and 4 minutes, and we've got 50 minutes. Yeah, that'll be fine. It'll be finishing up right as we finish up the filament giveaway. Where do you see traditional tool head changing outperforming index, actual just tool changing? That's a good question. The question came up with Olaf is, what can a regular tool changer do that is better than what index does? Any idea what the colors of the LEDs indicate? There is one when it's heating. I haven't paid that close of attention. You need a motorized bar that raises and lowers the dock tools. That's just added complication. If you've got enough room for the tools, you're good. And also, when you're moving things around, there is, I would be worried about the magnets here. Keep everything in a known state. The tool changer is more than a printer. I have a cutter and a pen on mine. So other folks have brought up interesting alternate tools that could work for this. Regular tool changer can preheat. There you go. Although when this heats up in 12 seconds from totally cold, is that a huge advantage? Might be, depending on your application though. You get more potentially, as this ecosystem evolves with different options on the tools, the things that you can't do on here are non-ferrous or non-inductively heatable nozzles. Okay, let's just go ahead and start this print. I think it's good to just start. Let's find out. Print. So it's going to do the beacon bed mesh. Oh, it just got caught around there. If that was going to dock, I think it would cause a problem. I'm going to keep an eye on it. There is not a filament cutter. So this is going to get purge line here in a second. Hey, John. I think there are tool head applications that you can't fit within this form factor. That would be an advantage of another tool changer. It's been discussed the loading procedure yet. Yeah, everything right now for me is manual. But that's only because I haven't spent any time and haven't gotten any suggestions on good automation methods. Is it possible to convert a 2.4 frame to a Trident frame? Sure, it's possible, but I don't think it's worth it. A Trident frame is taller than a 2.4 frame. So you'd be sacrificing some Z travel at least, I think. You do have to heat each tool to load. Won't be the only one writing our rep firmware macros for this. Oh, so Jacob at Construct 3D Norgora is all over getting support, setting up support for Index, and he's a rep firmware devotee. Do you think it would be possible for the tool head to detect what is going on? Oh, it's heating up the bed. Oh, I didn't I should have preheated the bed before I did all the meshing and stuff. None of my stuff is set up to wait for that. So we'll see how this goes. Probably go ahead and imagine do the steel nozzles. What was that? If it would be possible to do magnet inserts in. You just have to make sure it doesn't pull out from the magnet. That's the same problem on any printer there. Glue them in, preemptively glue them in, or put them in with enough friction to where it overcomes the magnetic force. We're waiting for the bed to heat up. I kind of want to stop this because that bed mesh and everything is not totally valid without the heated bed, but maybe I'll just see how it goes. I think this would be fun on a V2.4, having the tools up high like Stealth Changer. I think so. It's all Bowden tubes not getting tangled. It might. Brass nozzles aren't magnetic. Well, you can't use brass nozzles on this. Brass nozzles aren't able to be heated with the inductive heater. Is there a limit to internal geometry with the inductive heating? It's basically this. This just fits in there. That little spot there is where it measures the temperature. Let's see what happens. It's almost heated up. The bed takes a whole lot longer than the hot ends. This is sitting here cooking the filament though. Where's my glasses? There they are. .51C in an inductive bed. Let's get this a little bit closer. I think I can do that without disturbing stuff too much. This is a 250. This is a 250. I was wondering if the inside of the nozzle requires a consistent cross section or can you add CHT geometry? That's a good question. I don't know. Right now, according to Olaf, these should flow about 40 cubic millimeters per second with PLA, which is really high. Okay, what are you doing? I did something. What's it doing? There we go. I think it's okay. Are they already CHT? I don't know. Armor 3D, thanks for being a member for 20 months. Liked your sample print move with Grant. That was fun. That was fun. Tri-power design. I think the intent is to, in the production version of the tool head, is there's a modular setup so you can change between fans and CPAP and whatever. So loading multiple tools is always a time sink. You want to have a macro where you tell it you want to load in tools and to start bed preheat. So when you are done loading, your bed is all set. Yep. Even if you allow 10% for being ambitious on the rating, 36 is nothing to sniff at. Not at all. It's dragging around an Oscar hair there, but nice black first layer on a black build sheet. Seems pretty cool and so adaptable to many printers. Yeah, I think Bontech has really done. I mean, they came out of nowhere with this. This has got me excited. It's got a lot of you excited. I'm going to be trying some prints. Neil left, but he's got some good ideas for multi-material print to try. Can I fit the 22 tool heads on my V0? Are you talking 22 tool heads or what? Oh, there we go. And now it's heating the hot end. Hey, Brees. Do you recall the name of the guy who came to Olaf with the idea for index? Oh no, I don't. I don't know any history on that. Can we get a side view of the next change? Yeah, probably. Are there already macros that control the index? Yeah, we can go over the macros once we'll see a few layers here. Then I'll go in and show you how this works and the problem I ran into, the macro issue I ran into. Let me see if I can. How far from the side do you want? I don't know that I have great ability to do that. Let me see. Looking for a little extension. It's not there. Where is it? Is it down here? Oh, there it is. Maybe we can get this going. Just flip the printer. Working on it. Matt's Moosberg. Okay. What's the story there? I'm not familiar with it. Is that a purge block? It is. It is, and it's mostly just ooze control. That's my ooze control at the moment. Five is nice, but 8 is better. I did pre-order the Core 1 version, so we will have a we'll have an 8 tool set up at some point. Does this extend? Okay, what do we got here? Is that what you want to see? Is that what you want to see? Trident has 2mm belts, or maybe model 1.5. These are 2mm pitch belts. How do you get 5 when the kits are 4 and 8? Well, this is a beta kit, John, and they sent me the number of tools I requested. And Steve, joining to go back and watch the first hour. Oh, you were on the Makers podcast. Awesome. Managed to snag a Core 1 order as well. Really looking forward to moving on from the MMU. Cool. Hey, Chris. Welcome. Thank you for being a member for the perfect number of months. I know that's not super. There we go. Maybe that'll work. I love this camera. Hey, Penguin Makers. Missed the first hour because I fell asleep after work. The Huge Dino, thanks for being a member. How many people? Oh, 300. I think this is a weekday record for me. Over 350 people here. How are we doing on the likes? I gotta say it. We have 350 people. Many of you are new. Subscribe. I do this kind of thing. We have fun building. I try to give build tips. I stream mostly. My main streams are Sundays at 10 a.m. So it's a good time for worldwide availability. Sorry, Australia. How long have you had this set up? I've had this set up for a while. It's only been printing since right before Formnext though. I had to go through and do some modifications, figure out how I was gonna set it up. 10 a.m. Pacific, yep. What happened there? It dragged across stuff. I think it was just hitting the print. Nogarot, thanks for the gifted memberships. It's midday in Australia right now, but when I stream on Sundays, it's a poor time for you guys. What is the name of the mobile camera again? This is the OBSBot Meet 2. But did that get the view you wanted on the side view of the change? It's an awesome group of people in chat. Sunday stream is like 3 a.m. or something? Yeah, it's the functional printer prior to you setting up index, or was this? I built this just for index. I never actually, I did build it. It had a stealth burner on here. But this was built specifically for index. I never printed with it on the stealth burner. Let's go back to this then. I need sleep when there is documents. Posted this on LinkedIn a week ago. From idea, patent, countless prototype to product launch, and has been quite a journey, but now we are here. That's cool. Is there anything detecting if the tool is picked up correctly, or will it just error out if the heater isn't heating as expected? Exactly that. That has happened. I had a PTFE entanglement that caused it to drop a tool, and that's what happened. It ended up airing out because it wasn't heating as expected. How long did it take to calibrate the filament? As far as, are you talking about calibrate the offsets or offsets? I just did a quick camera offset and then did a test print, this little test print, and then did a guesstimate from there that got close enough to be able to print these just fine. Any idea if CAN bus tool headboard can fit on it? It can. There's enough room to put a CAN tool headboard on it. And it's not a bad idea. It's not as clean as this, but it's not a bad idea. You can hook up your stepper. You can hook up other things to there. You don't want to hook it up to you don't hook up your hot end to that, your hot end heater. You just need to run your power wires direct. What do you mean by you did a quick camera alignment? So I used the Ember prototypes. Here, let me pull that up. How many wires did you run on that umbilical? 4 for the stepper, the extruder stepper. It doubles up the ground and power, so I think it's another 4 for ground and power, and then another 4 for the heater and thermistor. I think. I might be off a wire or 2 there. Should look into Axoscope for calibration. Guys over in DSD made it use the camera and does awesome work. Awesome. I should check that out. It is indexed on a Voron Dodge Charger 440. This is Ember Prototypes. There is a product here the camera assisted XY offset calibration tool. So this little camera here is what I have and I use for the XY offset calibrations. That's not necessarily the solution I'm going to use for forever, but it's what I use to get this up and running. Is there an accelerometer on the tool head besides one on beacon? No, just the one on the beacon. There is not one on the tool head. Yes, Muzen, my LEDs are, one of them's out. And it should be corrected in the newer ones. I've talked to, I forget his name at Ember Prototypes, but I think mine is an early one. Mine, he sent it to me for free to evaluate, to check out, to use. And the, I was told that the newer one shouldn't be doing that. Does each head have its own nozzle, or is there a main one that slides between? Each head is its own nozzle. See, filament going in there. Nudge would work for alignment. Yep. I think. I don't know if there's any issues, but it should work. Hey, Stephen Poole. Only works with Clipper toolchanger at the moment. Get it working with macro-based toolchangers before index release. Is there any reason? Hey, Nemi, welcome. Is there any reason why we couldn't use Clipper toolchanger plugin for this? I haven't used it. I'm going to use it on the Trimax. I'll be more familiar with it after we set it up on there. But an EBB 36 style tool headboard would fit on here. It would. You just have to make a mount for it. There is a attachment point at the top, and then probably would have to use the carriage attachment points. So you would just need to make a path for it, for KTC to follow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I backed the Snapping Turtle Kickstarter just for one, just to try it out. It's the very first Kickstarter I've ever backed. To support the project. Look too simple and basic. There's not enough stuff there. No kidding. How many tools will fit on a Phoenix? I think it's like 20 or 22. Hey, Robert. Didn't know you're here. ATC should work if you disable the tool verification. Okay. Do what 3D is making a board specifically for it. I'd be willing to bet someone ports that to Clipper. Sure, BTT and others will make one too. Only back 12. Yeah, I need a little extra Z-hop, I think, there. It's bouncing across the print as it goes to dock. I can't imagine managing the filament path for 22 tools on a Phoenix. That's nightmare fuel. Could you go 2-layer with the second row offset by half the tool pitch? You'd have to have a way of moving them or be on a V2 or something. Okay, let's look at the macros. You guys wanted to see the macros here. I'll show you the macros and the minor issue I had. Here's our little temperature profile, which is always impressive. These are not a V6. These are very proprietary. They're specific to this. Sides of the Phoenix could hold 12 on each side easy. You have to have mechanical solutions to manage the PTFE. Mm-hmm. To rewind. Hey, Nico V Turbo. Okay, if we go over here. This is that variables file we're talking about. This holds the offsets And let's do that. There we go. And this is that active tool. So right now, active tool is 1. So that's the second tool here. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number of tools would be, well, you have a lot wider available on the Phoenix than just the 600 millimeters DWOC. You have quite a bit extra room, so that's where the extra, I think the 22 is what we figured. So the Index Core 1 runs Clipper. No, it's going to be an integration into the firmware by Prusa. The Index Core 1 is going to be sorted. Everything's going to be automated. They'll have wizards and macros for all of that. This is not the dev kit. This is pre-dev kit. This is a beta kit, which means that not everything that I have here, much of what I have here has already been updated for production or in the next versions. But this kind of thing, using it is still valid testing. Okay, so it uses a variable file to store like offsets. These are the tool X and Y and Z offsets. Interesting thing, I'm told I'm lucky that all my tools are similar enough to get away with this, but I'm using a 0 offset for Z and it's printing fine. I have only used the first 3 colors on the first layer though, so I don't know if the other 2 might have a little bit of a issue or not. But yes, these are very small offsets. And then we go here to the index and our tool change macros. So it's a very short file here for the tool change stuff. What I ran into as a problem is that this calls a safe position macro. I commented it out because this safe position up here, when the print height Z is less than 2, it moves the tool head to Z2 so it doesn't scrape across stuff as it's moving. It never moves it back. It never moves it back. So I basically commented out using that, and then it started working. So that's the extent of the macros. I know much of this is hidden here. But I think they've already updated these. I need to reach out to them to see if there's some updates for me to try. It does not heat while moving. It grabs it and then heats up and then moves and does the thing. And then there's some XYZ calibration assistance macros here. Setting offsets and cam position. I haven't actually used these. I did my own thing for that. No problem with sensorless homing being accurate enough for tool docking. I haven't run into a problem yet. I would like to put actual switches on this for homing, but I didn't have an easy way to do that yet. How long have you had it set up for? I've had it printing since the night before leaving for Formnext, but I've had the setup and working on different parts of it. The bed mounts, the front dock stuff, the PTFE inlet, that kind of stuff for a while. Is there a way to automatically create the locations? What do you mean? Oh, that's the other thing. There is a index config file. Index config file is where it sets the tool positions. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Come on. There we go. So here, I have an X1, so as far over as I can get with a little bit of wiggle room. And then the dock is at -26. is where it moves into dock. And then Y0 is the print, where the print starts. Index seems interesting. Then now to figure out how to install it on SV08. The SV08 is one of the printers that they have a thread for integrations on. Do you know how much the toolhead weighs? I don't, but it is a little bit of a brick. There's a lot of metal in there, but I don't know how much it weighs. Seems like you could find tool zero's location and would be able to do the rest. But you could have those in different spots. Mine are all linked, so it's easy, but are the heads mounted in a fixture so the spacing between them is always the same? It's just a printed fixture. Active tool being tracked in a file rather than just memory, but if it works. But if it's in memory, it means it's volatile, right? Oops. What SSH tool does everyone use? Oh, I just use a terminal. They needed the metal for rigidity. 350-ish grams, Cameron? Is that quoted from them? When you mount the nozzle docks on the bar, how do you find the config numbers? Oh, you home the printer and then just move it, jog it over until it's lined up here. That's what I did. Olaf said that? Okay. Well, if you lose power, I don't think you care what tool is active. You do. You do care, because when you go to home and put it away next time, how do you know which spot to go to put it away and grab the next tool? So I think the variable is a good idea for that. There we go. Those PTFE tubes just make it not want to focus. Here are Chapman. Is it using CAN bus? It is not. It has a total, including the stepper, which is separate from the board. I think it's 11 or 12 wires going. How good is the tool head acceleration? I haven't done any speed tests on this. That's not all that fantastic to watch that way. Let me see if I can get a better view here. There, that'll work. I mean, this is in focus, but that's not too bad. And the carriage is nothing Telxoid. It's a little slab of plastic, so it's probably just a few grams. Maybe 5 to 10 grams of carriage. Founders kits will likely be CNC and the retail will be die cast, with the die cast weight being less. Personally do index, or the option to expand if I want or need. See you, JNP. Thanks for stopping by. We can probably get a view here now that it's high enough in Z to show you how much oozes, or really how much doesn't ooze on here. That is how much has been oozing. That's it. Hey, Killer Prince. Look at that. That's all that it oozes. Little Brat, thanks for the gifted memberships. Index on antithesis. I thought it was funny that one of their test mules for this was index on a Mark III. That's very little. Yeah. We haven't done anything with the next two tool heads, but those are basically nothing. If I can zoom in any further and get that to focus. There we go. As in Prusa Mark III, yes. As in Prusa Mark III. Isn't that funny? Salt nozzle on the other setup since I print a lot of abrasives. What do we got? So we got 15 minutes till we'll give away our usual roll of Polymaker filament. So make sure you get your entry in. We're maintaining about 350 people. Said if you haven't subscribed, hit that button if you like what I'm doing here. We are at over 50% like ratio, but if you haven't hit that one yet, that's definitely appreciated. Hey, see Gorgeki. See you, Norgorot. 345 grams with the tool loaded is what I'll offset. Nice. You're like 2 times as usual. I'm all set for half past the hour. Awesome. Yeah, we will be raiding over to Down Under Maker's stream when we're done here, whether we go all the way to 6:30 or not. This is my Mark IV is now a Core 1, and then near future, next order is coming off, and nearly enough leftover parts to make a Mark III and Mark IV. Nice. So is the index supposed to be better or worse on a 2.4 as opposed to a Trident? I don't know which would be better, honestly. I don't know. It's all about umbilical management, and it might be a little easier on a 2.4, but I'm not sure. You know what? I would say it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's easier because I don't think I have an optimum setup here. I think the one that Bontech was showing at Formnext was better than this. But they had a bar going across the top where they had a fixed outlet for the PTFE tubes about halfway on top of the, right along here. No space loss at low Z. 2.4, you'd constantly need to go up and down on Z when changing tool heads. They do have a setup where you attach the crossbar to the front idler so it moves with the gantry. Shadow Queen, thanks for becoming a member. Could the tool be mounted to the back? I think that would be more difficult because the PTFE path's getting in the way, and then probably having a lot of force on the tools because these don't take a whole lot to pull them off. See? I can spool up early if needed. Oh, I'm sure I can figure out a way to fill the time there. Can you zoom out a bit? It looks sick from a bit away. It just focuses here is the only problem. It's focused on the tools instead of the print. Esoterical's in here. Welcome. Next big breakthrough in MCM printing, teleporting the filament from the spool to the hot end and eliminate it. Yep. What else? So this is supposed to be a Formnext and Index manual focus time. I don't know how to do that. Oh, that light spool is having a hard time here. I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to figure it out right now either. Just from experience, building still changer with 2.4, you would need higher top hat to accommodate PTFCs for higher prints. That's true. That's true. You do run into space issues on 2.4 at taller prints. Okay, zoom back in. There we go. Any thoughts on index on a 0G Mercury one? It would be fine. It's just about a matter of the integration. How do you mount these docks, and can you get to them? Otherwise, it's super simple. Ember Prototype said he's working on a V2 camera. Hopefully with controllable LEDs, because that's what I suggested he needed. What else do we have around here? I didn't really bring a whole lot back from Formnext. The trip to CNC Kitchen Studio and hanging out with Stefan and Pooch and Doc was absolutely a highlight of the week. That was fun. I actually got added another country to my list. I got down into Austria for a couple hours. And drop off with my phone charge. Welcome back. Gollum watching the One Ring on stream. Mass market will want auto loading of filaments. This light spool is being tossed around back here. CNC Kitchen's voice is so soothing. Their studio is pretty awesome, and playing with that minigun was the Moab, mother of all blasters, was fun. If anybody saw that on Twitter. G'day, mate. Austria. Come on, don't insult Down Maker here, Garrett. Into the link and Brown. Yes, I know. I figured. I back Gatling Tommy and I'm waiting for my kit. Nice. So we are, Saturday, we're going to do a member stream. I think we're going to update, Phil just did this, or was it? Yeah, Phil just did this last week, or is doing it tonight. That's right, doing it tonight. Upgrading his Core 1 to a Core 1 Plus. I'm probably going to do the same on my original Core 1 on Saturday. I think that's what I'm going to do, because next Wednesday, with any luck, will probably be an unboxing and setup of Core 1L. So, and then Sunday, we're going to, there's a double stream. So you're going to want to join me with Kiloprints as we build our Delta Flyers on his channel. And I'll roll into my Sunday stream. We'll figure out how this is going to work. Working on the Trimax. So, dude in the UK said the Moab was 5,000 USD. You can buy the Moab fully assembled for 5,000 USD. The Kickstarter for the kit, though, is significantly less than that. I think what, $300 to $400? What upgrades does the Core 1 Plus have over standard? Not a whole lot, to be honest. The Core 1 Plus does not have a whole lot. It's a switch to bypass the first filament sensor. It is a add-on to automatically move the vent. And I think that's about it. Will it be possible to fit the Index Core 1 to Core 1L? I hope so, because my plan is to move the Index from the Core 1 to the L when such support is out there. Update for Core 1 is a filament sensor, spool holder, and vent lever. Yep. But the key part of that stream is not just doing the Core 1 Plus update, but I want to pull the tool head off, and I want to check, because this is the pre-assembled Core 1 that I'm going to be working on. I want to see how well Prusa assembled it as far as belt lengths, and then I want to set up the belt tensions and stuff with the latest firmware that they finally released. So that's really the bigger part of that stream on Saturday. If you print the mobile on bamboo, you need the $100 calibrating plate. GA, the firmware had finally released, yeah. They don't add the tensioning to the XL yet. Yeah, we finally hit all the colors now. The firmware was released yesterday. Yep. But yeah, I mean, this is it's really all about this PTFE management. If those don't get tangled and knock a tool off, I suspect that it's going to print fine. But I need to put hours on it. That's the whole point of the beta. Start getting some hours on it. Is there any questions I might have missed? People asking anything new that you have asking? We have 3 minutes until we're giving away a roll of filament, and then we still have a few minutes after that to keep answering questions. So if I don't get to it in between now and the filament giveaway, save it for after. Yellow flips from orange to yellow in the change. Oh, does it? That is an orange, so it's not yellow. Are these hardened nozzles? Yes. What hardness? Don't know. Change time between tools. I think they were quoting 17 seconds, but they're expecting to get that down quite a bit. I don't have any info on software integration for Core 1. I don't. I expect it's going to be pretty good. I also expect the Prusa will be the driving factor on getting that set up. I got here pretty late, but how fast is heating up a new tool? Super fast, like 10 seconds, 8 seconds. How do you think about adding the index to Hydra? Hydra is what? Besides visiting a whole bunch of countries, John S. knows people in all those countries. Multiple nozzle sizes will be available. Absolutely. So in theory, it should be fine. Yes. Also, I asked Olaf directly, the drive gears, the large gear in there are hard. So what does input shaper look like? What was it? One of them was really clean. The other one wasn't. But I don't know if it has anything to do with the, what's causing it. I didn't spend a ton of time on it. I did run an input shaper tune on it. Yeah, I just haven't spent a lot of time on it. How does the index nozzle attach to the stand? Is it magnetic? It's a magnet. Will high flow nozzles be available? These are pretty high flow as it is. According to Bontech, this default nozzle is 40 cubic millimeters per second with PLA. I wish Prusa came up with some filament solution, hanging 4 or 5 spools on each side of the printer is not that. Aim that style. I think the Core 1 integration with the spools on the side is pretty clean. I don't know how you would better do 8 spools in that. And that's not final, so we'll see what the final looks like. Default nozzle is CHT. Okay. You do input shaper on one tool and it works with the rest. Yeah, these are all within, I mean, they're the same weight. You don't run it for each tool. No. Do the magnets feel like N52s? They're a weird size. I don't know. They're pretty strong. When I was installing them, they were pretty strong. Taylor wants 60 cubic millimeters because of Venture XL. This is all not final stuff, so who knows? What's your Vision filament roll mounts? Huh? I don't understand. I'm interested to see how the 12 spools on the Core 1L with index will be set up. Yeah, me too. Okay, filament giveaway time. We're a minute past due. Link is in the description in the pin post. Get your entries in. Let's go. Wheel of names. Delete those. How are you going to mount filament spools? That's what I think the question is. I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to mount them to the printer or if I want to make a little stand off to the side. I'm not sure. If we look at the Revo for an example, flow graph is predictive. Tool or 0.6 index could be as high as 70. Wow. Okay, let me get over here. Let's go here. How many people do we have right now? 340, 240 likes. As soon as you get your entry in there, jump over there and hit that like button. If you haven't already. Sent you a spool mount option on Discord. Cool. What is non-CHT flow? I don't know. Or the thermistor mounted tool or carriage? How does it connect? I think it's non-contact. It's a non-contact thermistor, I think. Make a rack that goes on top of the printer integrated into the top hat. I don't have a top hat yet. Oh, inbox. Inbix. Let me get back over here. What do we got here? 333 people now. Okay. Counting down. You have 3 seconds. Get your entry in. We start over the count. If we get an entry within that 3 seconds, or until I get tired of counting down to 3. Down to 1, to 0. 3. Get them in. All you last second people. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 2. 3. 2. 1. We just got another one. 3. 3. Every time I've said 3, one, it incremented. 3. 3. 2. 3. This is fun. This is the way it should be. I'm not having to work for starting over. 3. 2. 1. Get it in. I'm gonna say done. Half. Needle stuck. What? Still joining to lower my chances. Quarter. Okay, we're done. Everybody's in. And I'm gonna hit save. We just got one. Final countdown. 3, 2, 1. Done. Okay. Not bad at all. This is so questionable choices. You got in here first. Also one of the only people that put your full YouTube name in there. K2 Kevin, you barely got in there. Okay. I do sound like a skipping record. Let's go. We think we can fit about 22 tool heads on a Phoenix. So let's go number between 1 and 22. 1 and 22. 5 is just too low. I thought about that, Holtz, but 1 and 22 sounds good. That is a lot of names. Let's see. Kittrell, you said 12. Let's go 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Spin. What do we got? You got to be here. You got to say something in chat if your name's called. Nerman, thanks for becoming a member. Telxoid, I saw you here earlier. You still only have 2 minutes to say something in chat, though. What in the world happened here? Telxoid, are you here? Congrats. Rigged. Telxoid is a madman that uses CAD on his iPad on, what is it, Shaper 3D? Telxoid, are you here? I haven't started a timer because my watch changed the way that it... How do I change that? It changed the format of the... Not alarms. Where's timer? You hear, Telxoid? Save me from having to set a timer. There you are. Congrats. They already responded. I was trying to figure out how to... For some reason, my watch changed the format of the apps thing, and it makes me have to scroll. I need to fix... Oh, there we go. Grid view. Okay, fixed it. Okay, Telxoids. Let me get this in here. K2 Kevin, I saw a 99 on my sleep score. I don't trust it. I don't feel like I get as good a sleep as it tells me. Telxoid. Hey Jeff, welcome back. Let me get this email off to Telxoid. Come on. You think flour dust would be good for the cooling system? It'd be fine. It'd be fine. Let me get this email all set up. Okay, that email is on its way to you. Let me know if you don't get it. That's a sleep score. Mine's probably like 0 since I'm lucky to get 5 hours of sleep a night. Okay, that's on its way to you. Let me unpin the message and remove that from the thing. Back to Formnext or index questions. Anything I haven't covered here you want to see? Sleep score when my 2-year-old hit me up for 3 hours, so it's way off. I know, I don't trust it. 99 out of 100. Oh, let's go back here. Why is it called index? That's a good question. I don't know. How was the food in Germany? It was fantastic. We had, Stefan made sure that we had some local, popular dishes. We had, Leberkas. Leberkas, is that what it is? It's like really high quality spam. That's how Stefan described it. High quality spam. and pretzels. And then we had kebab from a Turkish kebab place that was really good. And then we had Stefan made a traditional white sausage breakfast for us. Weiss beer and white sausage and pretzels. Pulled a 35 a few nights ago. Is index 0 or 1 based? Mine is 0 based. So you can see at Formnext we can use in boron builds. That's a good question. Christmas market in Germany is awesome. I was about a week early to do Christmas markets. Euro shipping final payments are needed for founders. Q1 or Q2 is what they're saying. I don't know beyond that. Doner kebab was one of your favorite things to eat in Germany. This was pretty good. Spammers are they can get. How to set up index and Prusa Slicer. Yeah. You're supposed to sleep with your shorts on. Oh. It does scoot, huh? Okay. So let me bring up. So I got all of this set up. These are, by the way, these are some mounts that I designed for my 2 UHP power supplies that I'm going to use in the stealth changer build. I decided to make my own mount for this. So, can you show the mount you are using for the tool head or the CAD? Why don't we do it this way? Let's go here and let's just pull up the file. Since I can show this folder now. Bottom panel. Is that it? Nope. That is not it. Maybe it's... Oh no, that's V2 black. I want VT black. Here we go. Which one is it? That's tool holder, stealth cover, nope. Which part is it? Holder mount. Let's see. Tool holder index. Oh, here it is. In June 12 carriage. This is all there is to that, the carriage. Whoa, what happened there? Oh, it's my spool is it's at the very end of this roll of filament, so it's very light. Inductive extrusion. There we go. That's a good guess. Anyway, this is the carriage. That's all there is to it. And I haven't printed it out of anything special. It's just ASA. And it seems to be working okay. The recommendation is to make this out of something as strong as possible. Max temps on index. It's not finalized, but I think they're recommending 300 right now, but I don't think it's going to be that low on release. But I think it's, I don't think it's finalized. Let's measure this. There to there is 4.9 millimeters. Well, that's a problem. That should be an even number, but oh well. 4.9 millimeters, 5 basically. Here, R3D Remy. What were we gonna do? Let me import the config and here, and let's just grab this guy because this is all that really matters. So this is the setup for what you do in Prusa Slicer for the setup. It would be super easy to CNC. I should do it myself. 300 is enough to defeat the Persian Empire. So you set your number of extruders. I also set I have 224 by 250 as the build area. set the number of extruders, and then each extruder gets whatever settings. And then in your, I have all the start macro here, but down here under tool change, it's just saying T and then next extruder. So this is going to go T whatever. Hey, Maker Viking. And really, that's all there is to it. What was the most challenging part of Index? So far, not much has been challenging. It's kind of tackling each little problem as I came across it. Having to make the taller, like these, I had to make taller bed mounts because this version of the tool had this beta version. The production version won't need this, but I had to move the bed up, and this was the cleanest way for me to do it. But just hitting those things as they came across them, little things to design the bracket for this. How difficult is it to make the firmware config? They provided basic macros. They still need some work, but as you can see, they're functioning with a couple of tweaks. Inductive dynamic extruder. John, rigid plus TPU print. So the GPs sent me a message with an idea for a print to do. So I'm expecting to try that. So speed bumps aren't bad. That's really good news. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this has been a pretty simple path to successful print. Now what I need to do is figure out where the little issues might be. Him. Maker chips are coming out fine, yeah. I haven't done any tuning on this, and I've got some Jesse here. I've got Protopasta. I've got Polymaker PLA Pro. I've got Polymaker regular PLA. I've got another Jesse over here. It's all running the same filament profile. Since you were working with a new probe too. Yeah, this is my first experience with Beacon. And honestly, it was super easy to set up. It was a non-issue. I just followed their instructions. I wish I could have done it on a stream for the first time, but this was the only opportunity I had for it. No nozzle LEDs. I'll put that in as a suggestion. These LEDs on the front of the tool do change. I don't know the full range of what they change to though. I did speak to the cartographer, the guy who started that. Spoke to them, met them at Formnext. So I want to chat with them a little more at some point. Have you tried any of the other Eddy probes? Yeah, I've tried the Eddy, and I've tried the Duet one. I have it running on my V2 with RepRep firmware. I've had the Eddy running on my Blue V2 using Eddy and G, and then I've run the Mellow one, not cartographer, a Mellow one on the Tic Tac. These are all the same size nozzle on my index here. Any concerns about the extruder itself, wear and tear, gumming up? I have no concerns right now. You can get to the gears super easy when the tool's not in there. When this print finishes, it should finish here any second. When this print finishes, I'll take a tool out and get a closer look inside of there for you. There's some drama around the cartographer versus beacon thing. I think that's starting to die down a little bit, and I've heard some pretty positive things from both sides. I'm not familiar with it all, so I don't want to really get into it, but all I know is the guys seem nice, and I put a lot of value on actually meeting someone and how they interact. So is it possible to print with different nozzle sizes in one print job? It is. That's a slicer thing. Oh, I'll get that out of the way for right now. That's the camera. People keep asking. I'm using Prusa Slicer, yes. What's the max flow that you're seeing out of this? I have not tested flow, but I've been told, Olaf's been saying it should get about 40 cubic millimeters per second on these 0.4 nozzles with PLA. This is a new thing. The smart choice is to see how it goes and adopt when you're ready. Like kind of along with what Bill was saying there. Waiting for initial birthing issues to get worked out. Mm-hmm. What speeds is this running at? I don't know. So what happened? Well, the reason we didn't go through a full kind of from scratch firmware setup or slicer setup on this is I did all this and then I think my computer rebooted for a update. There we go. Oops, I'm glad I didn't. And I lost all the slicer stuff, so I'm gonna have to redo that. What's Olaf's position at Bontech? I don't know. Can you print over the network? Prusa Slicer, we use SD card or USB with Trident. This is all over the network. This is all Clipper and mainsail. Let's get a bring up a dock the tool. Let's dock the tool. Park the tool. There we go. And then let's just release that. Move this over here. And now we can get, there we go. This is your index. So we use our manual tool changer as a pointer. This is our inductive heater. That in the middle there is the temperature sensor. And we've got a Oscar up here now. Here are our large gear drive. This is that little lever I told you about that pushes down on the tool to engage it into those 3 bearings there for the Maxwell coupling. This is the lever that when that's pushed in, it puts us into engage and disengage mode. Heat up and nail into a branding. What kind of camera is that? This is the OBSBot Meet 2. I need to just put that in the description because for non-direct printer related questions, that is by far the most common. Does that temp sensor contact the nozzle? It does not. I believe it's got to be some sort of infrared or something. It reads off of that flat spot there. It is crisp. I've been super happy with this. It was on sale, same day delivery one day, and I made an impulse buy, and I haven't regretted it. Did it take a ton of parts printing? No. It's been my number one question. How hard is it to change out a damaged nozzle? I would think, in general, it would be this whole assembly. You would just get a new one of these. These are like 35 bucks. That's the thing about this setup. You buy the tool head, which was what, $300 or $400, and then these are cheap each. Expansion is cheap. Can you get a close-up of the inner gear? Well, here, let's see. All I can do is get as close as I can show here. So. I have not wanted index until watching you during this stream. So I'm not going to go so far as to get into every little nook and cranny here. This is still a beta. This is a very beta tool head. So the little fan is right behind that. After Bob Karn's glowing response to it, I haven't had as good a camera and head-on lots. Yeah. Can you run the locking mechanism with it close up? Yeah, I think so. Here. Oh, you want to see it? Let's see. Let's see. So with this pushed in and we extrude, Oscar, you have to stop sitting on the keyboard. No matter where I put the keyboard, he sits his butt on the edge of it and hits something. We have 3 more minutes until we're going to send you over to Down Under Maker Phil's stream. So be ready, Phil. Okay, so if you run an extrude move, see, it locks that in. So that's that pin right here that pushes down and locks the tool in. Now if we extrude again, so now this is popped out. Now if we retract, this puts us into undock mode, and then if we retract again, that moves out of the way and lets it undock. Was that a good view for your heart, Kay? You and... Jeez. It doesn't matter where I put the keyboard. He sits on it. So... Oh, here, let's do this. There we go. Get both cats in camera. Okay, folks. This has been basically the index stream. We didn't talk much about Formnext, but we can hit topics on that for the in the next coming streams. As I remember things, we'll squirrel off to different topics. Saturday is the member stream. We'll be playing with Core 1, upgrading it probably to Core 1 Plus and the latest firmware, and checking to see how well the factory assembled the belt path. What else? There was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, for any of you that celebrate, I hope you have a good holiday. Keep an eye out for the notifications for the next streams. And remember, Sunday is going to be a very long day of streaming with Kiloprints here and the Delta Flyer, and then working on the Mad Max after that. So if you're new here, thanks for coming by. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, then subscribe. Come back and visit again. Yeah. Hope you have a good rest of your week, and take care. Enjoy the build, folks. Bye.